All right, guys. So I think we are just about there. We've almost got this all sorted out. I am dropping a link it'll allow up to 10 people to come on the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and just invite DeAnna here and have you guys watch from my Facebook page. Let's go. Come on. Now, if I could just get my computer to work with me. DeAnna, I am dropping you the link. And we are going to get this party started. A little bit rough, but you know what? This is not something I always do, so this has been a learning experience. So let me go ahead and DeAnna, I am sending you the link. And we are going to get there. All right. So as we are waiting for DeAnna to get up on the page, I'm going to also drop the link here on Facebook. And all right. So if you guys have been watching for any length of time, any of my business, if you're a client, if you are a follower, this is something that is so super important to me right now. We are working on veterans care. So a lot of you don't know, but I am a military veteran. I was in the United States Navy for several years. And there you are. I see you. There we go. Okay, awesome. All right. So, okay, we're here. All right. Hi, Linda. Linda just posted a comment. She's on her third bottle of wine now. For this,
She's not sharing.
Do what?
She's not sharing.
I know. Linda is one of my military veteran friends. She was best friend. She was really good friends with my mom, but she's one of our military sisters. So Linda is here joining us. So, all right. So that was a lot more rocky than I intended. All right. But I think we are rolling.
Okay. Are we live on Facebook also then?
Yeah. Yep, we're also live on Facebook. It's going to my business page instead of the event page, but it's a start. And,
okay, then we need to send everyone from the event page to the business page, correct?
Yes. Okay. So, yep, Linda's Army, which I know, DeAnna, you've got some military Army experience.
Yes, I was Army Reserves. I was 88 November, transportation coordinator.
Awesome. Very good. And you come from a military background as well. Yes. So military is, it's such a wonderful support structure. It's a wonderful bonding situation. I feel so much closer with my military family than anyone who has ever experienced before. So,
do I need to put this link in my Facebook?
Yes, go ahead and post that link in your Facebook, and I'm going to drop my link on the Facebook page, and then we're going to get started. And the cool thing is that this is going to automatically record, so I'll be able to, we can edit out some of the nonsense. We can, use it as a replay. We'll figure that all out, so we'll be able to do that. So right. Linda posted 63H20 as her.
Don't know that one.
Okay, that's a little bit foreign to me, but
is definitely foreign to me. If it wasn't in the 88s, I'm not very sure I knew what they mean.
Okay.
Sorry, Linda.
Okay, so this is a super special, super intense project that DeAnna is working on. This is something that is so super close to our hearts. She was telling me about this project, and I couldn't say no as far as trying to help her make this a reality. So if you are just joining us, we're just kicking this off. We're getting this started. And DeAnna is going to tell us all about what she's been doing, what the plan is. And, so tell us, DeAnna, give us a little bit of background and then tell us what inspired you to take on this project. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, I spent 20 years in the military, 10 years in the Air Force. I started off as an interior electrician in the Air Force. And 18 months later, while I was in the UK at RAF Chicksands, I did a transfer to graphic illustrator, where I spent the next 8.5 years traveling as a graphic illustrator. I did basically Corel Draw, certificates, retirements, briefings, things like that. And got out because I was not happy. I had some family issues going on and needed to be home with my family, and got out and joined the Army Reserves because I realized I put in 10 years. I want my other 10, however I get it, for my retirement, because that was a goal of mine. So I joined the Army Reserves and became an 88 November transportation instructor. About a year into that, I decided, oh, wait, this is the Army. They sleep in tents, and I'm Air Force. And yeah, so, which was not the right way to look at it. But at the time, I was like, how do I do this? And I'm supposed to use a porta potty with 3,000 other people?
Right.
So, I was like, wait, I still want to stay. I want to do it. So I became a transportation instructor in 88 November and started teaching, and enjoyed the teaching process of it, because I was also teaching martial arts, and I loved teaching and interacting with people. Right. So I did my 20 years, and then I was doing different things, going to college part-time, working, trying to find my way in life. Because, after the military, you really don't know where you're going to go or what you're going to do most of the times, because
there's a lot of transition. Absolutely.
Right. So Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. So I was still in the Army Reserves, and FEMA opened up a place in 2005 up here in Baton Rouge. I joined FEMA as an administrator, assistance administrator for assistance duties. Okay. For doing, helping get people into housing. And they found out that I could read maps. Well, they thought I could because of the Army. Remember, I was Air Force. I didn't have to, but I did quickly. Because of the Army, I learned how to read maps. And I started doing the floodplains, where I decided, okay, well, this isn't a floodplain. We can't put a FEMA trailer there. We have to have it somewhere else, which was a lot of times really bad, because the people across the street were not in the flood zone, so they could have a trailer. So I was always having to call and go, okay, unfortunately, because you're 35 feet across the street, I cannot put a trailer there. Can we talk to your neighbors about getting you housed as close to home as possible by putting a trailer on their property? And a lot of people were like, I've never talked to my neighbor. I don't know. Right. Okay, so we figured it out. In 2010, my job ran out, which was the purpose of my job, was to house as many people as possible, get it taken care of. And and in 2009, I retired from the Army Reserves. Okay. So I did my 20. 2010 came along. My job was done. And what am I going to do now? I am a lost puppy.
Right.
So I decided that I needed to do something. In 2006, I was with the martial arts and trying to figure out what I was doing. The movies started picking up in New Orleans. Okay. And I had posted some pictures because I thought, I can do stunts because I know how to do martial arts, and I can roll, and I can't roll. I look like a 2-year-old falling.
Oh, no.
It didn't stop me. I had this great person reach out to me and say, hey, Mortal Kombat 4 is filming in New Orleans soon. Do you want to be in it? And so this person was Dawn Landrum with Landrum Arts, LA, out of Shreveport. And so I looked her up and I was like, oh, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm still not knowing how things work. And she said, well, my husband, George, is retired from the military. We are basically a mom and pop talent agency, but we will be getting bigger, which they did. They have people like Sam Medina. A lot of their people have been on Walking Dead. tons of movies that they have to their name and casting. So, at that time they were still, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why not? I've done everything else that I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
She says, well, you need to get headshots and acting classes. And I said, headshots? Me? Pictures? No, I don't know. Acting classes? No, I'm too shy for that. I'm really too shy for that.
Oh.
But I did listen to her. I did a couple of background things, and there was this thing that she put out saying they needed somebody Army that was going to be really butchy is the name. It was the description of the sergeant for a Jessica Simpson movie called Private Valentine.
Okay.
So I got in my uniform, cocky as I could be. Now that was 2007. I did that, and I got the part. I had to go to Shreveport, and I got to throw underwear in Jessica Simpson's face in Private Valentine. Now you only see the back of me, and I had people after it came out was like, I know that butt. I know that butt. I know that hair button, because they wanted to shave my head, and I was like, no. I worked too long for this hair.
Right.
So I definitely said, okay, I can do this, especially when, I was like, wait, I get to sit around and be in a trailer and not do anything and still get paid a little to a lot, depending on the movie.
Right.
And I get to throw underwear in Jessica Simpson's face. This is great. I met her. She's nice. She's funny. Sometimes she can be very intellectual. When she talks about the stocks of her shoes or whatever, I was listening. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. So I did that. And, I had one big star experience that I went googly on, which I swore after that I would never do. And I was background for Burt Reynolds' Deal, the movie or whatever, where they shot in New Orleans, the casino stuff. And so I was supposed to be background because I was trying to get my feet wet. Right. He walked past me past the slot machine, and he stops because he's going to his set spot. And they're not running; they're setting up everything. And he starts rubbing my back. And he says, he says, "Are you lucky today?" Because I was sitting at the slot, and I said, growing up, he was the bandit.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. No, I'm here because of you.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, so I'm the lucky one. And I was like, ah.
Right.
My mom's watching, and I didn't notice at the time because I couldn't feel anything. My head was just exploding that he was talking to me. Right. His hand was slowly going down my back as he's rubbing it.
Oh.
And we're talking, and out of my mouth, the only thing I can come up with, because my mom was retired Army, was, in Georgia, my mom, I went to the same doctor you went to for all your drugs. Dr. Carlucci. He's like, oh yeah, Dr. Carlucci. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, the stupidest time, you're like, it's one of those things of you're just, oh wow, and you're thinking to yourself as this is going on, come on, how stupid can you be?
Right.
Come on, reel it in, DeAnna. And I'm like, oh God, I can't do this on set. And after he leaves, the production assistants and everybody's running over. You kept him for 20 minutes. What were you talking to him about? I was like, I didn't do it. He did it to me. It was me. He came to me. They were like, well, what did y'all talk about? I was like, I don't know.
Right.
So that was my big star. And so after that, I swore, when I got on Jessica Simpson's set and she sat down next to me while I was filling out the paperwork, I was very much, be calm, be calm, be calm. I forgot the simple thing, the rule that I kept for my colonels and generals and admirals that I worked with was they put their pants on the same way I do. And basically they poop the same way I do. And that was the only way I could think of this being like, real. That,
right.
This is real. So not that I pictured Jessica Simpson pooping. I did not. That,
but it keeps them human. Exactly.
I mean, so it was very surreal.
Right. I mean, you're bumping elbows with people who you would never have normally interacted with. So that's so cool.
I Yeah, you're right. You know, and I had a couple of little roles in Private Valentine, but mainly the rest were speaking roles where I'm screaming at people and stuff. And you can't
Okay.
see me because they somehow the big line of 6 foot tall men moved where they stopped, where I had to go around them. And you can't see me, but you can hear me, move it, or whatever. You know, of course, the big mouth and the big butt gets the scenes.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. So Dawn, you know, with Dawn's encouragement, I took acting classes. I started coming out of my shell a little bit. A lot came out of my. I came out of my shell a lot with an actress and an instructor here, Valika Gray, and it was like she pushed me, and then I started noticing they're pushing me, but I'm pushing further, and I'm going further. I need more. I need more. I was a sponge, so I took with different people like Lauren Michelle. Lance Nichols, a great man who's been in LA and in Louisiana. He's been on Treme. He's been on tons of stuff, and I love him to death, and his wife Sardis. And I took with Jim Gleason, who is also another one. He's been in The Butler and a ton of different shows. You know, so I started taking classes, and I can't name them all. And please forgive me if I miss you guys. And Brett Dugan with the actors, I think it's the Baton Rouge Actors Studio or something, was one of my last ones. But again, I'm back with Lance Nichols right now for one-on-one classes because I'm seeing there's certain things I need to fix and I need to attach to those. But I've picked up, you know, my auditions. I've been auditioning for a ton of stuff throughout the years, and I take whatever classes I can. I've gone to TVI Studios for an intensive in LA, met some great people out there. A great actress on Lifetime called, her name is Meredith Thomas. And lately she's been doing a lot of murder stuff. And that's not the woman I met. The woman I met was nice and very, very cordial, but apparently she's murdering people now on TV. So you run it, and then a good friend of mine, Megan Franich, who was the lead vampire in 30 Days of Night. Iris.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
She was my roommate at TVI, and I'd never seen the movie. And the first morning she gets up, she crawls over into my bed and whispers in my ear, "Dee, you want to go get coffee?" And I'm like, "No, I want to sleep." If I'd known she was a vampire, I would have been like, "Look, I'm sleeping in the bathtub with the door locked."
Yeah.
You know, she's talented, but she loves to freak you out. I will tell you that about her. She loves to put you on edge, and that was great. You know, and so it just continued. I did different things, and here I am now, still doing things, working on different shorts in front of me, behind the camera. And thanks to Dawn and all my acting friends and all my acting coaches and instructors, I think I've come out of my shell sometimes a little too much.
Not too much. Perfect. So here's what I want to ask you. This is something that I think is so exciting. So tell me a little bit about this project that you are working on. What are we helping you out? What are we trying to do? Talk to me about it.
All right. So what happened was in 2017, I went to a veterans group meeting, and I ran into a lot of female veterans. And I ran into one, Alejandra Juan, who is one of the most nicest veterans, helpful veterans, intuitive veterans, and very inspirational with everything, and knows her stuff. And she said, with you being in the film industry and everything, something needs to be done about showcasing our homeless veterans. We have 400 homeless veterans on the average in Louisiana, and 100 of them are females. And I was like, what? No, that can't be. This, these people just put up signs saying they're a veteran. And she's like, no, a lot of them are. And so that was in 2017 after the flood. And I was like, let me research this. And so I started reaching out to different film industry people and finding out, okay, this is going to cost this. The camera rental costs this. And I was a little overwhelmed by everything. In March of 2020, I ran across, I was like, I need to do this on my own, especially when we're in lockdown. I can do the research, everything we need to do. So I ran across a lady named Sarah Elizabeth Timmons, who has Life Out Loud Films.
Okay.
And she does production webinars free. And then you can take her courses and her classes and do everything.
Okay.
So
cool.
I started listening. I was like, wow, I can do this. This will be easy to do. I can start my own production company. I don't want to, because I don't want to impede. See, there was the word. Impede on my friends who have their little production companies. I don't want to. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be a documentary. Let me look at doing documentaries. And so I started working with Sarah Elizabeth, and I found all this information, and I hooked some of my friends up. Definitely hooked up a really good friend of mine, Kay Landon, and who's a screenwriter, an award-winning screenwriter here in Louisiana. And I hooked up my friend Brittany Van Dyke, one of my bestest of friends. And they both do things. And so, I've worked on the 48-hour film project with both of them. I love doing stuff with them. They are we're just like fun to be with. Kay has her own way of writing. Brittany has her own way of writing that sometimes you go, why did we put that?
Right.
Let's do it. So we do this, and they have their own little things. And so I'm like, well, I need to do my own production company. I can't think of a name. I'm driving, of all things, to a VA appointment in Baton Rouge, and I pass this truck that says Bad Habitz on it with an S. And I'm like, oh my God, every military person gets out of the military with bad habits that they transfer to their civilian life, like the 3 fingers in between each coat hanger.
Right.
They have to untie their shoes when they go to bed at
Right.
night.
Military corners on the sheets.
My mom's since 1989, and she still does the military, but she calls it the nursing corners. I'm like, no, Mom, it's military. So you have all of these things. I'm OCD about all my plates. You don't put Tupperware with my plate. Don't put the Tupperware goes in the Tupperware box. Right. So there are certain things, even if you look at my desk, it's messy, but I know where everything is, so don't touch it.
Exactly.
So, I'm finding out there are bad habits. Why I have to have even numbers on everything, except when I get to the number 13, I'll never know. So, like the radio has to be even numbers. My mom will flip it and it'll go to 11, and I'm but let me. She's like, what are you doing? I can't hear it. I'm like, okay, let me turn it up one more. I need an even number.
So
I came up with Bad Habits. I looked at Bad Habits Productions. There's a theater group with the S, so I changed it to a lightning strike for a Z almost. Perfect. Because we do, as military and as women and as film people, we hit like lightning. And sometimes there's an aftermath. If we strike the tree, there may be an aftermath, an afterglow, or either way, we make our mark. So I was okay. I'm going to do Bad Habits. Yeah, I got this now. So with Brittany's help, I incorporated it as an LLC, and decided that I was going to focus on veterans issues that they face with any red tape they go through anywhere, because a lot of them don't know how to research, get tired, don't like the research, are scared of dealing with people, especially if they've been shunned or burnt by either the government or something. And that I was going to look for solutions by their point of view.
Okay.
So I ended up hooking up with a Emmy award-winning producer director named Matt Ogins, Ogins, he went to Tulane for 5 years. One of my most favorite documentaries he did is called Confessions of a Superhero, or Confessions of the Superheroes, which is about the people that dress as superheroes on Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay.
Loved it. And we talked, and he says, "Oh yeah, this is great." And so he's been kind of mentoring me through a company I went through, Voyage Media, to get him and talk to him. But I had to pitch that I wanted to do this, and they were like, "This is a unique." And I said, "I want to do like either a docuseries or a documentary, full-length documentary, whatever." So I started talking to Matt, and I worked with him, and he says, "Okay, look, you have a niche here. you need to take it down from homeless veterans to, because you are a female veteran, to female homeless veterans. And I went, oh, okay. And he's like, and you need to work with them and talk to them. And I was like, wait, what? I got to talk to people again? Wait, no.
The introvert in me is screaming.
Right. But I did, with his help, with Brittany's help, with my family's help, with every one of my friends stepping up and saying, oh my God, this is great. You can do this. I have people that have tapped in and gone, why is this happening? Let's talk to them. I have veterans that I know that are like, we need to do this. How do we do this? And I have friends in the film industry that are like, why has this not been a subject touched on before? And then I have friends who are just the regular friends that are not, quacky from the film industry or quacky from the military. And they're like, oh, so this is going to be easy. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not.
No.
Especially during COVID, when they house everybody right now, it's hard to find them. But I'm doing that thanks to the Film Commission. So I've gotten ahead of the game. I'm interacting and networking with people I need to everywhere to get this going and to meet people and to work with them. And Matt said, I want you to do yours kind of like this Netflix short called Heroin, which is heroin, HEROIN with the apostrophes E. And it's a short on Netflix. And I was like, wow, no, I want to take it a little bit further. I want to just shadow. I'm going to be the fly on the wall. They're going to do all the talking. He says, yeah, because everyone's doing the talking of sitting in the office talking. Let's get you out there. Yep. So in the process of doing this and doing all of the research that I need to do, the connections I need to make, I have taken bad habits and did a bad habit and spent my own money, about 10 grand so far, on equipment and some training that I needed to do. And I opened the business, and that's where I'm at now, where I'm going in my kitchen going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I have most of the equipment, but the big piece I'm missing is the camera.
Yeah. So what I've done, for those of you guys who are watching, I have posted the link to DeAnna's startup page. It's here on the screen. It's also in the comments. I have this up on my screen over here. So I'm actually, let me see. I don't think I can share it with you right now, but I'm watching. And right now, DeAnna has raised $190 towards the $50,000 goal that she's looking at. So what I would love to have us do, I would love to see that number go up before the time we end this live. So it just, I know that I've got, my mom is already pledging. She's going to be donating $50 to help fund this. I'm throwing in $100. Anyone, we want to see this happen. This is such a beautiful structure. So I have Alton hanging out in the wings.
I will tell you, Alton worked with Lance in LA. And he's one of my hometowns of my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. He actually lives down the street in Saraland from where I lived for my 10th grade year of high school. Because being military, I went to 3 different high schools.
Right. Oh, so cool.
I did not get kicked out of any high schools. I just moved because of my mom.
Right. And then Tom and Rhea were on for a little bit. So I know that they were watching. So I see that you guys are watching. If you are watching, drop a comment, drop a like.
Me too. I would love to give you a shout out just for
yes. So I have posted the link. I'm going to go ahead and post the link again, and I'm going to keep posting it so you guys can see this as we're posting it live.
Now, the link, what it's going for is to help get the startup business going, so that I'm working on grants for the startup business, and I'm working on grants for the documentaries. I want to do grants for the documentaries so that I don't have to worry about a business or somebody jumping in that put in 50 grand to it or something and say, no, I don't like the way you're doing it. You need to do it this way. I don't mind taking the request on how to do it or different ways to do it. I just know that with the way I've watched a lot of Matt's films, and I know how veterans need to be approached. I know that a lot of times, we've got to just let them speak. So I do want to say that if I was able to get 15,000, 2,000 would go to the camera, which is the Panasonic GH5 that I really want. It's nice to use. It's easy to use. It's 4K. And then I have a place out here that I would like to rent, and it's a 4-office building. That was a political friend of mine's, Lori Calais, and she had ran for state representative out here. She wants to sell it for $135,000. I'm being realistic. If I can rent it from her for a year at $1,000 a month, then I can build up enough credit to buy it under the business. And it has 4 rooms in this house that they renovated on land that I can set up to do a lot of things that I want to do with the veterans and with the film industry and with people in the local area out here in Denham Springs and in Baton Rouge.
Now, one of the things that you and I had talked about, one of the things that you had mentioned that struck me as just so absolutely awesome. So, I mean, we're looking to help you with equipment. We're looking to help you get the office. Now, talk to me about the people that you're going to hire. Okay. Because that is for me, that's the best part of all of this.
I've had a lot of veterans say they can't hold down, and I'm one of them. I couldn't hold down a civilian job because I either have to be overly extroverted and, very much deal with everything, or I had to be 100% introverted or do different things. And because of some of the disabilities I have because of the military, I'm very limited. I'm also limited as far as how much time I can put up with rude people would be. So, and I do have a mouth. I will say that. So,
which of us doesn't? That's a thing.
Yeah, I think we learned from the drill sergeants, when you're gonna be, what are you? You kind of
at a certain point we stop making good employees and we start wanting to work for ourselves. We make it a point that we get.
I don't answer. I like answering to me, and I have my expectations.
Yep.
So I found, like, I was talking to a couple of veterans. One goes, well, I couldn't do anything in the film industry. I just sit at home and twiddle my thumbs. And I said, why? Why couldn't you? I mean, it's great. We work anywhere from 1 day to 4 months, Yes, It's 12-hour days, but oh my God, it's perfect. If you work on a music video for a weekend, then you're good. And he's like, well, I was recon. I can't do anything. I was like, that is literally location scouting right there. You go and look for places and everything. He's like, yeah, but do I have to? But I'm used to being in the bushes. And I'm like, okay, well, we do need you to be out of the bushes. I mean, if you want to do it, okay, fine, do it in the bushes. I don't care. But if I need, location scouting is so much fun. They say, when I worked on Scream, the television series in 2014, maybe, somewhere before the flood.
Right.
For MTV, I ended up working, for different people, and they put me out scouting for the Victorian style homes in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Only in Baton Rouge and not anywhere outside, which there was only about 4 or 5. And I was traveling, looking, I'm like, oh, this is hard. So I had to go take pictures, and I had to leave letters and knock on doors to these people. And I found out we have 4 to 5 in Baton Rouge at that time. And so then I had to look at the logistics. Like, one had a driveway that went like this.
Okay.
So I knew our trucks could not get down, let alone get up.
Right.
So, I started the location scouting and talking to people, and found out I really like scouting. Then I would, if the director and the producers liked the pictures I took and got in and took pictures of these places, that they wanted to go look at it. So I would go back, and I would be the in between person, but for everybody. Right. Then when we would film there, I took it upon myself to treat it like it was my grandmother's home or a museum and not my place.
Right.
Certain things could be moved, certain things could not. And that was a big one for me, that if they said it could not be moved, or not to mess with something, or don't do this, that I made sure that this happened. Plus, I had to make sure everything was back in place after after we finished filming. And filming is 12-hour days, so locations is there usually an hour before everyone else gets there and at least an hour after.
Right.
So my days went from 12-hour days into 14 to 16-hour days a lot of times.
Right.
What I needed to do to clean up. It was great. It was fun, but I wanted more. As with my acting, I got bored.
Mm-hmm.
And I was approached by Kay Landon, who I had my first 48 film project with Brittany that we did our own, and Kay wrote the script, and a really great best friend of mine, Charmaine Parker Lewis, was the director on. And this was just like unbelievable what Kay wanted to do. And it was a show about, because it was during Men Too in 2017, we decided, or Me Too movement in 2017, we decided that we were going to do a TV show, or a pilot, or a web series about some issues that men were facing as far as sexual abuse and everything. And so we collaborated on it, and we kept going further with it. And I found out that I like the way Kay writes. I like a lot of what she's done. I've seen her shorts she did with Jinsey Griffin Hogan, Madeline's Oil, and Jinsey is an awesome person. I've taken her classes too. And I ended up finding that I like the production side, but I don't know what I'm doing, because I didn't realize as a producer that I'm liable for certain things.
Right.
So I was like, oh, whoa, not just money. Producing is not just throwing the money in there. So, we have collaborated on a lot of things and working on a lot of things. And Jinsey had a television show, or not, I'm sorry, God, see, that's my brain. So she did a movie that they filmed locally in Baton Rouge called Daisy and Smiling Jack. Okay. And he asked me to be the locations manager / scout for it. Mm-hmm. And I did. And I loved the places we went. I loved what we did. We shot it, the whole film, in less than 19 days with only a few pickups that we still need to do. But the people I met, I was like, this is great. I can do this, and I can do production. And I'm learning, because I was in the production office all the time. And I was learning, I need to do this. I need to do that. How do I do a call sheet? How do I do this? Right. And so back on the internet, I went, and that put me back where I am now with producing my own documentaries and not directing them, because I don't want to direct it. That's too much. I'm too pedantic for that. I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So I end up, I've got to get approved. So that's where the grants come in for the documentaries. The first documentary on homeless female veterans is going to cost about $65,000, which is a small budget to an extent. It just barely goes above the Louisiana credit line for state for tax incentives for the budget, which is $50,000, and it's going to be a feature length. It's not going to be a short 30 minutes or under. It's going to be at least 60 minutes that I want to put out on Netflix and Amazon or one of the streaming sites.
Right.
But I can't do that if I don't have an office to talk to people, to edit in, to get the veterans that I want to do these documentaries. I want to put them behind if they want to be behind the scenes, and they're like, I was an electrician in the Army. Okay, great. We can bring you in as a grip. You can do lighting. Well, I was a cook. Oh, great. Do you still cook? And was it good? Because we all know how some of that military food went. And they wonder why we doused everything with hot sauce and ketchup, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So, I was like, I can do this. I can take them and take their jobs. And especially if they're wanting to do something, they answer basically to themselves on set. They don't have to talk, because if you're on set, when things happen, and yay, Linda was a mechanic. Awesome. I met a lot of 88 mics that also had to be mechanics. And I have interesting stories about the females that did this. I'm not privy to say it on public What they ended up, but some of them were
Interesting characters for sure.
yes, they were, you know, and they're like, you know, it's pretty bad when you got to teach a civilian guy, how to change the oil, or you know, so you know, oh wow, tanks and 5 ton. Oh my God, that's awesome. I wanted to drive a tank. Could you imagine driving the tank?
Linda is one of our super badass. I love Linda. I love my Linda. Hi, Linda.
So
Oh,
you know, I just want to take their jobs. And yes, there is a job for tank drivers. It's called transportation.
yes.
And so yes, we have a job in basically almost every job that you have in the military. I can find a way to incorporate that into the film industry. And that's what I want to do. I want to take the veterans that want to learn. Then when they're on set, they don't have to speak to anybody, especially when quiet on set is called. You're in your zone. And then maybe they can start talking to people, especially the younger guys on set, about the military, because you know it has to go past that. Oh, you were in the military? Did you kill anyone?
Yes, exactly.
No, I was not a cook, and I was not a doctor. No. So
I want to give a quick update. Hold on one second, just
sure.
Me, but I wanted to let you know that we have upgraded to, we started off with 4 funders and $190. We have gone up to 6 funders and $390.
Wow. That's awesome. You know, all of it, it doesn't matter how much I get because I'm putting it towards the camera and what I need is the office. I can sit on the floor. I can steal my mom's kitchen table and take it to the office. I don't care. I just want to, in order to get the first documentary out, I need this. But in order to get the documentary going, I need the veterans a place to train them. And I have people in the industry that are willing to train for free to teach them and get them on set. Is there a Southern is there Southern Comfort as a first?
I love you, Linda.
Come down here and trust me. I don't know where you're at, but we will take you past the Southern Comfort. We will give you hurricanes. I will make you the hurricane drink from O'Brien. And with beignets. Don't worry. Absolutely. There are perks that are not listed on my fundraiser because I didn't know what to list. But there are things that I will do and list. And always at the end of all of my documentaries, there will be a special thanks to anyone that has donated even $5. I don't care because it's the matter that we've come together and we're working for a good cause.
Yes.
So I want to get the veterans trained. That's the big one, that I get the veterans trained. If they want to do it, they do it. They learn. They also think ahead. All right, Linda, you're in. So you said 5,000, right, Linda?
Love it.
Yeah. So I just want to do this and get it going and get this out there because not only can I do that, but we have actors that need self-taping services, and I can take the veterans and I can train them by having the actors come in, do the self-taping for the audition or do the videotaping for the audition, and teach them at that same time. And I'm going to keep it pretty cheap. I'm going to work with people 24 hours a day. It would be open if we needed to do that, but it would be scheduled, obviously. The other thing with the 4 offices is I can have the studio set up in one spot. I can have my office. I can have where somebody comes in and sets up for, okay, we're going to do a fake set so that you can learn how to operate on set. So we can do that. But I can also open it up to the film industry people to have meetings there and do that. That is a big one for me. And then, you know, there are so many things that I can see the potential for this place. And Lori Calais is working with me. She's like, I need some, you know, you got to do something with no income coming in from this until the grants come in to fund it. And then whatever generates from whatever streaming I get on will happen. So this is a big process that I took on and didn't realize I was going to end up going 3 different ways at one time with it.
Right. It happens. I mean, that's, I've noticed that creators have a tendency to do that. You have so many different moving parts to this whole overall project that, you know, it's you got to figure out where to start. What's the most important part to focus on and make it happen, but they're all important in their own way.
Yes. So, you know, and then I've had people say, hey, do you have a business plan? And I went, yeah, I'm opening a production company that does documentaries. They're like, no, we need to read it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm holding, I literally held up a piece of paper that said bad habits. And the guy was like, yeah, we need to work on that. And I was like, okay. And so I have friends that are working with me to do this. And they're like, okay, you need to fill out this business template. And I'm like, I don't know. How do I do it? Yeah. And, then these grants pop up and I'm like, how do I ask very nice and cordially? I need a certain amount of money and you should give it to me. And they're like, oh, they're asking for what you want to do. And you've got 150 words to write it in.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I have other friends that I'm always consistently talking to and going, how do we make this sound pretty in 4 words or less?
Yep. Exactly. And that's why it's so good to have so many different people on board and helping you out, because they're a different perspective and everything is wonderful. So, yeah.
And I don't plan to take, because this is a passion project and staying busy. And those that know me from my Facebook post, it keeps me out of Facebook jail if I'm busy. A little out there. But my business is all about the veterans and the community and how I can work, because I don't want to just stop there. There's plenty more that this can go to. And I have 15 documentaries already in my head, but I need more. And that's where, if you go to my website, you can see where it says, tell me the issue. Yeah. And give me your contact information. And let's talk about what the issues are and how we need to approach them. And it's going to take on the average 1.5 years per documentary. Now that's pre-production, producing, and then the editing and the post-production. Well, while everything is after pre-production, I can still be working on 2 and 3 and 4 projects, getting the information. I can hire the veterans to do the research and talk about it. And then I can also, while I'm in producing and I'm actually out interviewing, either the veterans are with me out there doing the crew work, or they're back at the office working on the next project. Then in post, while the editing and everything is, that's the longest and the hardest waiting time to get it out, that I can do. I can be working on my next project. As long as I've got projects to keep me going, I'm happy. I can, it's like somebody in a buffet line. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. And then I can say, this is what goes on. And it does, it takes on a life of itself. Yeah. And I can see, I've got, like I said, I've got 15 in my head alone, just from questions that I've asked about things going on. Yeah. And I'm getting help from different people and websites and how to do this, and running into people like you. I have a ton. I met a woman on a veteran site, Jacqueline Berry, who has become one of my greatest supporters, who I have found that puts herself in the childhood corner, because she does have a tendency to say more than I do. And so, with being a veteran herself, she is very outspoken, and I'm running that women need to be outspoken too. I'm not saying men don't need to cower or anything, but I have found that the more we speak out and we ask questions, anybody asks questions, we're going to get the answer. And as veterans, if you tell me I can't do it, oh, honey, you just messed up. Bless your little heart.
Exactly. You don't know me at all. Tell me I don't and watch me do it.
That's right. And, many of us got that from our basic training when the drill sergeant was, yelling at you and saying, you can't do this. You're nothing more than a piece of food. They do that hand. They don't never point. They always, so, it's like, no, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you I can do it. And I don't know that Linda would be quite quiet on something like this. So I think after a few Southern Comfort drinks, she's quite New Orleans. Yeah. I've run across people and I love it. People I meet in the industry. Working on Screen, the television series, with a good friend of mine as my locations key manager, and talking to different people. I've gotten to travel with this. I've just being in the film industry. I've gone to Australia. I've gone to California. I took a road trip.
She was she was really good friends with my mom.
That's now my mom has gotten into the film industry. Thanks to Brittany, Brittany threw her in a 48-hour short, and my mom wasn't supposed to have words. She was going to be in the background. And well, yeah, mom became kind of the one with the most words. And she has the experience, which is really weird because she was in the Navy when she first started. She met my dad in the Navy. They were medics, and they got married, and eventually they had me. And then, they went their separate ways due to whatever reasons they had. And then mom decided, wait, I kind of need to finish. Her goal, her dream when she was 4 years old was to join the Navy. And way back then, there weren't really women there. I think they were called waves when she joined. So that's how old she is. So she ended up joining the Army and doing different things. One of them was she took a 30-day, as a reservist, she took a 30-day tour to the Pentagon. Okay. 18 months later, we left. That's a long 30-day tour. Then, she was an Army recruiter, which I decided never, that was my 10th grade year out at Satsuma High School, that none of my friends could come to my house. And I couldn't introduce her to anybody because she'd start talking about the Army and the recruiting. And, I remember, so, I knew I was joining the military when I was 4 or 5 because she came back from the Pentagon before I went up with her. And she had the old olive drab uniforms we wore, or that was worn back in the 70s. And it had 5 stars on it. I think I had on combat boots, and she was teaching me how to salute. I mean, come on.
That's
Is
great.
that not setting out your, that's pre-planning.
Right.
So everything I did, I had to make up my bed every day, and it had to, thank God she didn't bounce quarters on the bed. But, so 10th grade, she's talking to my friends about joining the Army or joining the military. And then she's rehearsing her stuff with me. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't good. And then, we get transferred to Shreveport Bossier area for her to work as a medical supply sergeant. And I get, all this time I've been doing ROTC in high school, and I get there and it's the Air Force ROTC. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I'm at an Air Force base. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Rhea. I do like that. Thank you.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah. Is a long distance cousin of mine.
Okay.
Out in, I believe, California, through marriage. And her husband, Tim, is quite the knowledgeable young charrette distant cousin. So,
very cool.
I enjoy these people, and what, the military taught me this stuff. I ended up in audio visual my last few years in active duty. And I saw things that I could do. I loved camcorders. I loved doing what I could do with them. And I saw the editing, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I kept pursuing film stuff without realizing I was pursuing film stuff.
Okay.
And so I tried editing at BRCC, and it was on an Apple. It was on Mac. Yeah, those Macs, that's what they're called. So I was like, they said, okay, now let's turn on the computer. And I was like, whoa, how do I do this? Wait, how do I do this? I don't know where my control button is or any. And they were like, yeah, this is your control button. And I found that I'm too detail oriented as far to sit there for 12 and 15 hours. And that's what I would do. So I said, okay, we're not editing. That's not for me. I can't. I need fast stuff done. So I've been back and forth, and and I know I'm jumping, but I've realized that my military and my film has been going on for years. I didn't know how to edit, but in England, I took one videotape and took all my videos that I had done, and I would put them little pieces on there for my friends and give it to them as going away presents. Somehow I hooked up 2 VCRs to work. VCRs. Okay, so that was how things go. So I didn't know how, this stuff worked, and I still don't, but I'm willing to learn. I love a challenge, and I want to teach. And the motto of my company is pay it forward.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Pay it forward. Give it to somebody else.
Right.
And work. So it's not just about the military and the veterans in my company, because I want to work with the high school seniors or the young adults that want to do film industry, because to get into the film industry, you need a foot in, you need to know somebody. And of course, you're going to start out as a PA, and you're going to work your butt off.
Right.
It's blood, sweat, and tears. But when you get a little bit of training and you're told this is how it's done, I remember sending airmen out to look for flight line.
Okay. Right.
They're like, huh? Yeah, go get the flight line. We need 3 yards of it. What? And they're out there asking everybody, where's the flight line? Where's the flight line?
Right.
And yeah, it's over in there. Yeah. So, so this whole thing, you do have that. But the film industry is great about taking care of its people. If you're working on the independents or you're working close in hand with a group, you work together and you see how everybody meshes. And that's what the military does, no matter what job. It's like we've said in the past, if you're at a bar and, for giggles and grins, it has to be a Marine that gets involved, and it's a Marine. Every military person is jumping in to fight with the Marine, not knowing that the Marine probably said something inappropriate to somebody. Probably.
Right.
And the Army is not far behind, and the Air Force and the Navy is right there. We all are very sarcastically rude. And so far, I'm not sure about the Coast Guard, and I definitely don't know about our Space Force. So, union guys might want to help. Yes, absolutely.
That's a great point, Tom.
Union guys, absolutely. And meeting the union guys they work, and it's great. And there's certain things you have to do and certain amount of hours you have to do to be union. So again, working on different sets, getting the experience, getting up there is a good thing. And so for me, like back to the story of we jump in and help the Marines in a bar fight. Yep. Yes, we all do that. And as soon as it's over, every one of us turns to the Marine and goes, "What did you say? That was stupid. Why are you not chopping down on your crayons?"
Yeah.
So, as soon as it's over, every one of us, and then, they're like, well, the chair force is sitting over there. And, you got your Navy squids and
right.
Okay. All right. Yes. And then we fight them in between ourselves. So, we do all of that.
Right.
But then it's a camaraderie, and the same thing with the film industry. And I can see bringing both of them together.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen here real fast, because I just want to show you guys where we are on the fundraising. We are with 7 funders. We've bumped up to $440.
That's awesome.
All right. So we're making this happen for you. So we're doing everything we can. Okay. So if you guys have any questions on where to send this money, she has this page set up. It's ifundwomen.com/projects. I dropped the link in the comments. So if you guys want to know where to send your money to help her make this happen.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. It's so easy to do. I did it for myself. I did it for my mom. So we're 2 of those funders for you to make that happen.
I love I Fund Women because it's women entrepreneurs. It's different campaigns, but I'm finding I'm out on a lot of the different sites, not only where female entrepreneurs are working together, but entrepreneur veterans are working together. And that's where I got a lot of my information.
Yeah.
And I find it very, I would like to get 50 grand because it would allow me to, I would love to get 15 grand because it would allow me to purchase the camera and get 1 year's rent and a little bit for utilities and stuff. But 50 grand would allow me to get that plus some furniture to have in there, office supplies and furniture. So that is where I want to go. Now, if somebody is feeling really generous and wants to help, I'll take the whole startup will cost me $150,000.
Yeah.
So, I do not have a way to do it as a tax deduction right now.
Right.
But I will figure a way to do something to, I don't know. So, it's hard to do perks on a startup business when your business deals with documentaries.
Tom made a really great point here. Union members would allow the use of facility and resources too. Yeah. That's another option as well. I mean,
it is. And I plan to do that. Anybody in the film industry, if you need to come in and do a meetup, or you want to hold a small training session to bring people in, and you don't have a place, then let's do it. Let's work it out. With the 4 offices, I'm able to do my stuff in 1 or 2 other offices, and you have 1 or 2 offices to do your stuff in.
Yep.
So even outside, because it's got a good piece of a backyard to it, we could practice filming outside. We can practice filming inside. We can do things because it's not right on the road where it's on a residential road. So you're not getting the semi trucks coming by. And I don't want to stop there. If I have a veteran-owned business, I want to say, okay, I want to be able to go and say, look, you work with me, I work with you. We pay it forward. We get your stuff out. If I do something, I always want to thank everyone who's involved with it. I definitely feel that in today's society, a lot of people need to come together to help each other in order to help themselves. And I'm finding that if you have a goal, a simplistic, and yes, it is a lot of money, but it's still a simplistic goal of what it does.
It's straightforward. And I mean, using it for equipment, for the building, it's simplified to be able to do the day-to-day. So
in the long run of getting the building, it's also helping the veterans that want to get out, but don't know where to go. I mean, the only one I think I found that I'm not really, no, I do have a job, is for the snipers and the explosive ordnance people. I do have jobs for them.
I see special effects in their career future. I mean, that would be that. I mean, that seems like that would be pretty little easy-ish transition. I mean, I think that's great.
I just have to somehow get them license to blow things up.
So I love this. So what I want to do, so we've covered a lot of ground, you guys. So what I'm just going to do a super quick recap. So DeAnna has been in the film industry. This is something that she is so super passionate about. As a military vet herself, wanting to help veterans bring their struggles straight to the forefront, try to get this on Netflix, any of the major streaming media that we have out there. We want to give a voice to the people who are forgotten, who are kind of like when you get out of the military, there's a major transition that takes place. You go from being in this family to being out on your own. And it's a struggle for some people who might not have an outside family. Mental health is such a huge issue, medical health. So for us to be able to give DeAnna the ability to be the voice for these people, for our brothers and sisters, this is going to benefit not only us, but the veterans that are getting ready to come out, getting ready to transition out of the military themselves. So the more focus that we can bring, the more money we can raise, the more we can get her voice out to help our brothers and sisters in arms and make this a reality. So if you guys have any questions, I would love, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I want to make sure that we're addressing any issues.
Oh, absolutely. And the one other thing that I'm seeing right now, this is a local documentary for the first one, the homeless female, live with a passion. Absolutely.
She's still my tagline. I love Linda.
I can see Linda possibly have been stationed in Korea.
Linda, is that true? Or were you in Korea at any point? I totally see that happening.
I do see that. There are, that's those don't ask, don't tell situations. I've been there, done that. But I see where, even though my first one is a locally on Baton Rouge and maybe New Orleans veterans, homeless female veterans, I want to redo it later. Yes, she was. Of course she was.
Yeah.
So yes, I spent a year at Osan. So that was, for me, that was an experience. I found a lot of experiences, no matter what I did in the military, I find a way that my military experiences, even if they were bad, I've turned them into good for the most part, because there has to be a silver lining. But the fact that I want to take this national with going around and traveling. So obviously my other documentaries, as they go, they will get more expensive, because I don't want to just focus on Baton Rouge or New Orleans or just Louisiana. I want to take this out. I also have other side projects that I'm doing about photos of veterans then and now. I take their old photos, and with the help of a great British friend of mine that lives in New Orleans, Mark Mascar, who has a photography business. We are going to go and do just Louisiana veterans at first, taking pictures, their old pictures, and they're new, and a picture of them new, and we're going to put it on a website that we're running just for Louisiana veterans, so that, hey, I was stationed with this guy, except by his nickname or his last name or whatever. Okay, I knew he lived in Louisiana. Now I know what city he lives in. There's a way to contact through us through the website.
Right.
So that's another project, that are building out of these veteran projects that I want to do.
Right.
So I'm seeing things happen that I didn't expect, and I'm starting to say, oh, wow. And I see a chance to do a documentary on our veterans that are not nationalized, national citizens yet, and that's the thing. They've got that 4 years in the military, and to become national citizens. I'm not even know if I'm saying that right there.
Right, but yeah.
So there's a chance for them to do that. I also know, I want to know what happens to a vet when they get incarcerated for a simple thing, and what happens to them after they get out. I want to know everything. What happens, like in Linda's case? Okay, so you were a tank driver. Tell me, a tank mechanic. Tell me, what did that entail, and how does that help you as a civilian? There is plenty. I've got veterans that were with the Thunderbirds, with the Blue Angels, were in part of the Army band or the Navy band. How do you do that? How does that happen? Right. What do you do afterwards? That's the big one. How do you transition? When you get off of active duty. My class, when I transitioned in 1998, was a 2-hour. Well, here you go. Here's this. I didn't know about the VA home loans. I did not know about that. I got out in 1998 of active duty, and it took me till 2000, 2 years later, to realize, do a documentary on Fort McClellan. Ooh, there we go. See, we can do that. If I'm able to get the funding for stuff like that, I really want to. I want to show the good and the bad of the military, but I also want to end it with, this is the way we can fix it. And let's fix it from not the hierarchy, not from the top. Let's fix it from the people who are boots on the ground, knee deep in this, and let's see how we can do this.
Awesome.
What it's about, and giving a voice to our veterans and our veteran supporters, family members, spouses, dependents, everybody. At some point, it's the 6 degrees of contact. Someone, toxins. I've heard about the toxins. Camp Lejeune is another big one, and my cousin brought up one about K2, which is someplace over in Siberia that we are not that our veterans have received cancer from, because you see how long it took us for the VA to acknowledge Agent Orange and what's that, Tidewater or Blue Water, the Gulf, the Navy with that, and you have the Gulf War syndrome and things that they're finding that are real now. Well, K2 was one of those things that happened in, I believe, the late 90s, and I know this because my cousin Jeff was there.
Okay.
That I didn't know until I got onto our family website or our family Facebook page. And he says they are not even acknowledging that this was a highly radioactive spot. And, everyone, they're treating it, but they're not admitting this, and they're not giving them what they need. Agent Orange was at McClellan. Oh, okay. Wow. I did not know that. That is a good one. And I know about the water issue at Camp Lejeune. Right. I know about that, and I would like to do something on that, because my dad still lives there, and he went through his bout of cancer and the things that happened, because he stayed there for 40. He's still there. He's been there for over 40 years. He was in the station there, and then after that, he got out and was a civilian there. So see how quiet I am.
You know what, though? I find it, I think that it's very interesting that we are seeing such a huge rise in cancer. I mean, I myself am a breast cancer survivor. I know at least 3 or 4 military people that I was stationed out in Hawaii with ended up with different types of cancer. So it's like, I don't know if it's prevalent. It is.
Yeah. And you don't realize, because, as things change, we think, okay, yeah, the government's going to take care of us. Well, yes, they do, but a lot of times they don't they don't know what happens until after it happens. And is that the fault of the government? Well, yes, it is. But at the time, a lot of things were done for war purposes and to stop a war or to keep us safe. Has it backfired? Yes. During Desert Storm, they were handing out, I believe, malaria pills. Well, one of my ex-boyfriends took the malaria pills and got malaria, and then ended up with some other issues due to that. He's now deceased, but because of the issues he had with the military and what happened, one of the problems I saw is he says, I can't go talk. Yeah. Oh, wow. You dodged, I was there for a summer, Rhea, and I don't know if I dodged the bullet. So far I've dodged the bullet. Right. Not to say it won't happen in the future, but yeah, I did a summer out there with that. And, so back to, we're seeing things and he would not talk to a military psychiatrist. He would not talk to a psychiatrist about his time in the Gulf War, in Desert Storm. He said, because if they wasn't there, they don't understand it, and I don't trust them. And I said, how can you not trust them if you don't give them a chance? Yeah. But his pride got in his way, and that ended my relationship with him, along with a couple of different, situations. And I full-heartedly believe that because of the Gulf War, that is what ultimately caused his heart to stop. And, you look at it, his son was 18 or 19 when he died. Okay. His son suffered when he was born. They had to medevac him, I believe, and they had electrodes or wires sticking out of his son's head because of whatever issues he had, which were ultimately, my ex-boyfriend felt, that were caused by the Gulf War syndrome. Right. So, you have these issues, and there will always be ongoing issues. Yeah. And but at some point, the VA and the government needs to take care of us.
And it's definitely, we signed a dotted line. We put it forth that we are writing a blank check. We are here to defend the Constitution. We're here to defend the people of this country. And we're taking a risk that not everyone agreed to. Exactly. And I think that, in return, for us to be able to overcome challenges, to be able to adapt into non-military life, to be able to continue to be the people who we were supposed to be, we need the help and guidance from the structure that influenced our lives so immensely. Right. So it's definitely, I think that you have such a huge, amazing, beautiful vision, and want to do something that is it speaks so much to so many people, because there are so many people who family members are veterans or are in the military, and there's such a respect for the military in and of itself, and the sacrifice that we make for our friends and family. And, we give up family time. We give up memories. We're not there for, births or passings or anything like that, because we're serving our country. And it's by you giving a voice to the struggles that veterans face every day is just such a heartfelt, heart-centered vision. And I'm so excited to be able to help you make this happen. Like, this is it's not even my project. This is your project. I'm like, let's do this. Let's go. We're in on this. Like,
we all joined the military for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Some of us got out after a few years. Some of us made it a lifelong commitment. Some of us added by doing federal service afterwards. So, we did it for not just for ourselves, but whether or not we realized it at the time, we did it because we love this country. Yeah. And that's ultimately, so we've all put it forth in one way or another to make that sacrifice. Some of us made the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah. And nobody plans to. When I joined, it wasn't let's go to war, because I joined in '88, right? When we were the ending of the Cold War. So you see the difference, and you're like, oh wow, okay, well, I joined. Obviously, I joined because I was told, that this is the way to go with a military family. This is what you do. I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to travel. I'm going to see the world. I'm going to get a college education. I'm set for life. And oh wait, Gulf War in 1990, 91, something like, oh, you're watching it on CNN. I was sitting at the Air Force Base Bar, and I literally watched my unit, which was over there, the 33rd Fighter Wing, and I watched the bombings and everything start, and I was like, oh God, this is real. What next?
Yeah.
What do I do? And you don't have that what do I do in the military. It's either they call you.
Yep. Now what are we doing now? Yep.
Yeah. Let's go. We'll tell you when you get there and what you need to do. And even though I didn't get into the Gulf War because I just came back from England, there was a rule stipulating. But I had been asked by the high ups in the Air Force to work with the Army over there, doing briefings and stuff because of my clearance that I had held when I was at RAF Chickens. Right. So there were things, and I was like, I want to go. And thank God in 100 days it was over. And I saw what happened to the people that came back. Right. I met Major Rhonda Cornum, the female POW, her from the helicopter that broke both shoulders and everything. Little 5'2", maybe 5'2", firecracker.
Right.
Her husband was my flight surgeon, and I was like, oh, this is bigger than when I met her. I was like, this is bigger than meeting the president. This is wow. So for me, the different things that I've done and led up to where I am now, I think back to people that were POWs. When I went to Korea, I read a book called This Kind of War, and I read it about 3 months before I left Korea.
Okay.
I am so glad I did not read it when I was first there, because I read the actions of what happened to a lot of our military from the Korean War. Right. I see that we still haven't, we're in an armistice over there. So we're literally still legally at war over there. So I see how things are happening and how things are changing with the drones, pilots, and all of that. But no matter what we do, there is still a personal issue that we have to face. We have soldiers that are in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they are, not only are they putting their lives at risk there, but when we have our National Guard here putting their lives at risk during hurricanes or national disasters or state of emergencies, they are literally standing up and saying, okay, this job supersedes my education, supersedes my family, supersedes everything.
It supersedes even my own beliefs, whether my call to service overrides everything that makes me. Yeah.
Yes, because we're also conditioned that yes, we have our own personal beliefs, but when we're in a time of war or in a time of military service, that we have a calling that we have to listen to. Now there are rules to it. Yes, there are rules. There are certain things, but yes, it does happen, and we see that, and it comes back day to day basis. When you're working at a fast food restaurant, you're like, wait, I don't have a standard operating procedure. How do I know that does not work here?
Is my uniform out of rags? What?
Where's my gig line? And you're like, oh wait, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I can't have a gig line.
I know some things just don't. Yep, I agree. It's
very much, so you're finding things that are interacting, and you'd be surprised that a lot of people nowadays, especially if they're not near a military base, they don't have that interaction with a veteran. And when they do, the interactions either go good or they go bad. Right. Like, I don't want to talk about it, or, whatever. Right. Or they go really, really good. And so there's a specialty there, and there's a respect and I want to I went to Alexandria, Louisiana, and went to the VA up there one time, and they actually have a veterans home up there, and I was talking to World War I and World War II veterans, and of course the World War I veterans were very, very, very old at that time, and the World War II veterans were not much younger, but we played bingo with them,
right?
And it was like, wow, and they would talk about some of their stories, and I encourage anybody that has a chance to come to New Orleans, to go to the World War II Museum and see it, and see they've got the waves and all of everything that did with it. You know, you had B. Arthur from Golden Girls. That was a Marine driver.
Right.
I could see that with that voice. You know, she didn't need a horn. She could just scream, "Get out of the way," with that deep voice. But, you know, you have people like Adam Shriver, who was in the Star Wars, the last 2 Star Wars films. God, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I cannot, I cannot even remember the titles for him. But he was a Marine, and you know, he got out of the Marines, and he was doing this, and he found a way to incorporate military with poems and theatricals. And you have Gary Sinise, and you have Tom Hanks, who support stuff. You know, you have a ton of people out there that will do anything and bend over backwards to help veterans, and that's what I want to do. I want to help them. I want to pay it forward because of these other veterans, and that not only gave their lives but sacrificed. So I see an issue with this, and this needs to continue. And you know, we need to give the veterans more of a voice, and their own voice. They don't need to be held to regulations. They need this.
I agree. I love it.
And we need it as civilians. Now, as a civilian for myself, I have young people that are like I said, you know, I told them, I was in the Air Force and the Army. Oh, did you fly airplanes? No, not everybody flies airplanes. Well, when you were in the Army, did you kill people? No, I didn't do that either. Not to my knowledge. You know, my cooking, possibly. No.
You sound like
but you know, so that was Brittany brought that up when she first met me. She was like, "Oh, you were in the Air Force, so did you fly planes?" No, didn't. I took planes when I was traveling, but no, I never. You know, so there are those things. You know, that the experiences you have, the people you meet, and the people you stay in contact with. I have friends that I'm still in contact with from Eglin Air Force Base, which was my second tour, or my second station. They are the greatest Ohanas, the family that I have ever, because they were from Hawaii, and so that's how I know about my Hawaiians. And then I went to Korea, and I ran, you know, even at Chick Sands, I ran into a couple of friends off of Facebook that I know at Chick Sands, and it's great. And then I went to Korea, and I ran into, you know, I've run into a couple of people from Korea on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing a week, and they're like, "Oh, let us tell you about that week you're missing." You know, oh, we know about that week.
Oh boy,
is your week on soju? I was like, I don't remember drinking it. Yeah, we put it in your kind of deal.
Whoops.
But, you know, and then Barksdale, I have some great friends from Barksdale, and so, you know, the things I've done in Army Reserves, the things I've done, the people I've met, the coming together, and 9/11 was a big one. You know, we came together at 9/11. I got stuck because I was flying out of Buffalo, New York on 9/11 that morning due to a family emergency, and we landed in Chicago, and apparently Chicago, the Sears Tower was one of the target points, but thank God my plane was fully packed. So that was, whatever happened didn't, thank God. And then we landed in Kansas City, Missouri, and we were on the flight line, and I was like, something's wrong. We're sitting here for an hour. And then the pilot came on, and I distinctly remember, because I always sat by the emergency exit, and he says, I have something that's going, some news to tell you, and it's going to affect everybody on this plane. And my first thought was, oh God, we've been hijacked in Kansas City, Missouri. So I go to grab, I'm like, I'm leaving with my teddy bear. I don't know about anything else, but I'm leaving. And he says, matter of fact, it affects the whole nation. And my thought was, oh, something happened to the president. And I was like, well, let me hear this out. You know, inquiring minds want to know. And that's when he talked about what happened. And it took us over an hour to get off the flight line. And when I got into the airport, I had $3 on a cell phone and my stuff. And I called my sergeant down here, and he says, let me find out, because we have our headquarters is in Kansas City, Missouri. And a sergeant came up 3 hours later, had been in contact with me, and said, I can get to you in 3 hours. I can't get off work. I'm at the reserve center. She literally came and picked me up,
Okay.
and loaned me $300, knew nothing about me, to put me on a bus to come back here.
Wow.
And, you know, that's how we work. We work like that. You know, oh, I don't know you. You're in my unit. What do you need? Let me help you.
Exactly. Let's get this taken care of. Absolutely.
You know, and that works not just in the military. We've seen it with the floods. We've seen it with the hurricanes. We've seen it in all the natural disasters and everything. We come together to help everybody.
So speaking of help, I'm going to put this on up here. We're going to add this back on up. So we are still hanging out at $440, which is up significantly from where we started. We started at 190. So, you know, I think we are definitely,
you know, and the campaign doesn't end today. The campaign still got another 165 days or something to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So because all I'm going to do is get it started and going, and let's do this. Let's, you know, if I'm able to get everything going, I can help the veterans. I can help the veteran families that want to get their foot in the door or something like that. And it's not just here in Louisiana. It is to go nationwide.
Yeah,
that's my goal.
Yep. And what we'll do, because we're looking at an hour and 25 minutes we've been running this. So what we'll do,
reward every non-military member out there. I think probably, you know, like Linda and Rhea. Linda's probably on her second bottle of something by now.
But it, you know, I think that this just tells exactly the support that you get from your family of the military members. You know, we're curious about where you've been, where you've gone, what your future holds. And that's what we want to give, that type of support to you, to be able to help these veterans, all of our brothers and sisters in arms. And, you know, I think that
the stories are out there. The stories and the questions are out there. How can we help as a community? Not as veterans, not as family members of veterans, but as a community. How do we recognize the problems and how do we fix it? And don't look on a web page that says, well, scenario 1 has A, B, and C, and in order for this to work, you know, no, let's put it out there in the people's voices. Let's show how this is done. Yay!
Ray is still here. Who else is still here? If you're still here and hanging out with us, drop a heart or comment. Let us know that you guys are still here. We're going to be wrapping it up. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments so we can make sure we address them for you. But we've put
up the social media sites. Do you have a link for those?
Let me get in here and I will drop that.
It's www.Habitz with a Z Productions, badhabitsproductions.com. And that is definitely the website where you can Gmail me at badhabitsproductions@gmail.com.
Yep. And if you guys have any questions, you can either Facebook one of us and I'll connect you if I have to. If you guys are on my page and want to connect up with DeAnna, message me and we'll connect you. If you guys have vice versa, if any of DeAnna's people want to connect with me for any reason, let me know. I'm happy to help. I mean, we're here to support each other. We're here to support this project. We're here to support each other. I mean, I think we're in a point in time where the world needs a hell of a lot more love and a lot more support for each other. So that's my message to my girls, my clients. And, you know, my purpose here is to empower people. And if I can help women like DeAnna shoot and aim for their goals and like really knock it out of the park, you know, if that helps me impact one person, if it's going to help her impact so many millions of people, if we can get this out there.
Absolutely. And, you know, you've done a great job reaching out and finding me and talking to me about doing this. And then, you know, you have, all right, Tom is still there.
Tom, hey.
So to be able to work and find, and that's the great thing about social media. Yeah. With all of this, we can connect with people we never thought we could connect with.
Exactly.
And we have, you know, nobody goes, I've had it so many times when they see my DV parking tag. Oh, so you're the wife of a veteran. Oh, no, baby. I am the veteran.
Me. Yep. Yeah. You see, I've been very fortunate. I've never had anyone ask me, just because I think I walk with enough attitude for them to be like, no, possible BITCH. So, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's usually, you know, do you see the words coming out of my mouth as I'm speaking them, and my brain's going, stop. And I'm thinking, how do I stop that from what is, and then if I stop my mouth, then I have certain hand gestures that will start. And it's like, oh, oh, wow. What my mom said in the Navy, she didn't cuss. She joined the Army and she cussed worse than a sailor. So, I think we all had our aha moments of things happening. And it was like, oh, wait, I'm ever evolving. And that's where it's gotten to me now. It's, I've reached a point where it wasn't an aha moment. It was an aha year of last year. And I'm like, okay, I see a new path, and I see not a path just for me, because I'm perfectly happy sitting at home watching Netflix or doing what I want to do. But I see a path that's going to help me grow and to help others grow. And that's what this is about. We have to come together at some point and decide that we're going to mend, and we're going to work with everybody, and we're going to objectively look at everybody. Yeah. As long as the biggest thing is, if you respect me, I respect you.
Yeah. Alton said he's still here too. Hey, Alton.
Yay.
Yay.
So,
awesome.
I may sit there and cuss with you and say you're full of bull monarchy and everything, but at the end of the day, we're going to hug it out.
Exactly. That's what family does. Yeah. That's what family does.
And this is the worst. The military is the worst dysfunctional family that I've ever seen. But then you meet the veterans and you're like, oh God, how come you were never given an Article 15 for what you said? Or, and they're like, well, that's because the whole unit was doing it. And you're like, oh okay.
Yeah. Good. And, I think it comes down to the vet. I have not met a veteran who does not have a heart of gold. They might be like the nastiest, crustiest person on the face of the earth, but the biggest hearts that I've ever met.
Right. Yeah. They're so salty and you're like, oh my God.
It's a requirement to get in. Come on now.
Yeah. We even tease about the Marines and everything, but for instance, in Korea, I had the Army that was at the DMZ, and we were like, man, that's got to suck being there, because we didn't know. I really never saw them unless they came to Osan, and usually they were young guys that were drunk and crying in their pitcher of beer that they wanted to go home, and we're like, right. And then I went to the DMZ and I was like, I want to go home. I went for a visit. I went for a 3-hour tour, and I was like, oh God, get me off this boat.
Right.
And, so you tease them and you're like, oh my God, really? How did this not happen? But then you hear about some of their stories, and I've done that. I've listened to George Landrum, one of my agents, and the stories he's told, and it's like, wow, how are you alive today? Never mind, I don't want to know. That's a don't ask, don't tell, and right. It's probably a national classified secret. So you run into people, and you're like, oh, huh. Yeah. So it's a big thing for me to get this out, and the stories they have to tell, especially our World War II veterans, our Korean War veterans, our World War I, if any of them are still around, I'd love to listen to them, and our Vietnam veterans, and our, sitting them down. And I would say this to any family member: sit down your veteran family, put a tape recorder or a video recorder on them, and ask them to talk about their times, because this is stuff that until we went into the Gulf War, we didn't know, and the wars are evolving. Yeah, there's not a front line.
Yeah, it's
so everybody now.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping up. I want to show you guys real fast. I'm gonna add this to the stream and just kind of walk you guys through how to go ahead and do this real fast, just so that way, if anyone has any questions, they can kind of see me walk through the site real fast. So if you type in ifundwomen.com, click on the link that we dropped in the comments. You're going to click on Fund It. If you can't afford to donate right now, we totally understand, but share it. Like it, love it, share it. Get the word out on this, because this is such a great, amazing project. So DeAnna's got several different money amounts that you can
Right.
contribute. So, anywhere, and she's got little rewards, special thanks, depending on how much you're donating. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add an extra $5 to this. So, yay! And any little bit counts, guys, because this is going to help her purchase a camera. We're going to work on trying to get her building. We're working on all kinds of stuff.
Right. And, the more that I can do to help a veteran, and everybody that's related some way to a veteran or something, the film industry, you're related. Everybody is related to the film industry because you watch TV, you watch movies, everything, commercials, music videos, anything. We're all related somehow to the entertainment industry. And it's not just for film that I can train people. If they got the basic knowledge, they can take it and put it in music videos, social media, however they can do it. This is a big thing for us. So they can do PayPal, or they can do where they skip the PayPal account.
That was their pay with debit or credit card. So you guys have different options on how to be able to contribute.
Right.
And again,
I will always be wide open with, okay, this goes to the company. I will show you what I purchase.
Yep.
So it is never not one. The only thing that may happen eventually in a while later is, the 10,000 I put in to get some of the equipment, I would like to, recover some of it. Not that it's a big deal, because I'll recover it with the things that I'm able to get out there to show people. So that is a big one for me. But, I see I can't do this on my own. And I hate asking for help from anybody. But this is one that I do need help on. I do need help to get this out about the veterans, because the veterans, that's the other thing a veteran does a lot of times, is they refuse to ask for help.
Yes. Yep. And this is so easy. I mean, you guys just watch me do this. I'm waiting for the page to process my payment. Right. But I just walked you guys through a little bit while DeAnna was talking, and it's that easy. It's really that easy, and it's such a great, worthy cause. Let's go ahead and make a difference. Let's make an impact. Let's help DeAnna get what she needs to be able to bring this total up. So we're at $445 for your fundraising. We're going to go ahead and hit back here. And, I don't know what you guys are waiting for, but let's make this happen.
And you can reach out to me at badhabitsproductions@gmail.com. You can go to my webpage at badhabitsproductions.com. You can also find the Facebook Bad Habits Productions. And it's also on Instagram. It's bad_habits_productions_LLC. I mean, I just couldn't stop with the underscores, right? So I have those 3 social medias for that. There's always, you can ask the questions. I'm willing to sit down, Zoom meet with anybody, talk about this, talk about the issues that veterans face, talk about how it impacts the civilians, talk about how it impacts our community.
Absolutely. It's too big of and worthy of a cause for us to remain silent on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I give props out to everyone who has, at some point or another in my life, has set me on this journey. I just, there are too many people to thank, on air, and we could go, that's why they give you time limits at the Oscars.
Yeah.
So, but I will be happy to put you at the end of, when you donate and everything. These are the people that donated. If you don't want to be put on there, that's fine too. Just let me know. But these are the people that are helping to make a difference monetarily. Now, you don't have to monetarily. You can share this.
Yep. Like it, love it, share it. Let's get the word out. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And this can go on even after the campaign ends. This can go on because, gladly, I will still.
Exactly. This is not going to end with today. This is going to be an ongoing promotional thing. So I think what we should do, DeAnna, is maybe in a week or two, we'll touch base. We'll see how you're doing. We'll do like another little thing. We have it a little more streamlined this time.
Yeah.
So we're figuring it out. We got there eventually. So
it's like guerrilla shooting. Let's just do it. And whatever happens, right?
Exactly. You know, it's adapt and overcome. We get there eventually.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, okay, so we got three wills. We call Linda for the fourth will, right?
Yep. You're a mess.
More than the will. So, but that's all right.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
We all have our idiosyncrasies that merge and make this country what it is. It is a melting pot, and you know, we have shown that we are a force to be reckoned with, not only with the military, but as women in the military, as men in the military, as veterans, as anybody that has been in the military at one point or another, or has a veteran, because, you know, it's even hard as a spouse of a military member or a parent of a military member. You're literally
they're supporting the people who are supporting this country,
and the children that have supported because, you know, their father or mom or both of them end up deployed, and they're at home. You know, that's a hard one for a 4 or 5 year old or even a 10-year-old to get and to understand what's going on. So, you know, there are things that we have, and I see a lot more productions. Like I said, I have 15 in mind. I need more. 15 is not enough.
Well, you know what? I see between Raya and Tom and Linda, and we're gonna roll this thing out. We're gonna give you so many more ideas, I'm sure.
Please do. It keeps me out of Facebook jail. It keeps me off of Facebook. It keeps me busy, because we all know what happens when we are not busy.
We find ourselves in a lot more trouble than what we should be.
Yeah, sometimes it's the Marines' fault. Sometimes it's
just the opportunity.
They're so easy. I love them, though. I have so many members that were family members that were Marines, and I still don't understand why we call it chomping on the crayons. I don't understand the affection of the crayon, but it's great. I don't want to understand. I like my ideas of why they have that.
All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. We are at $445 for DeAnna's cause. Thank you guys for everyone who signed up, who donated, who joined us today. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for supporting everything that we're trying to do here. We're getting the message out. Let's support our veterans. Let's help DeAnna. And, you know, women's empowerment is my thing. I'm a women's empowerment relationship coach. So if you guys have been on DeAnna's following, that's who I am. I'd love for you guys to come on board and just check out my Facebook page. DeAnna, I'm happy to support everything she's doing. So this is going to be an absolute wonderful sisterhood collaboration of the women. And
you know, and I have to say, Christine, you've done a great job. And the way you talked to me the first time, you know, and the way you talked to me since our first time to now, it's very comfortable, and I really enjoy it, and I see the potential of what you do, and I think it's something, you know, women's empowerment is definitely needed. This is a dog eat dog world, and we need to somehow come together as not only humans, as everybody. To, you know, it's let's put everything aside. Politically, gender wise, let's help each other succeed.
Exactly.
How do I help you? And that's a good one. Wayne Douglas Morgan, another acting veteran that's an actor and a producer, has said, help me help you. And you know, so that's a big one for me, is let's help each other at any point, you know.
Exactly. You are such an inspiration. Thank you so much. You are a delight. Well, we're going to have to go ahead and set up another weekend chat where we're not live streaming. We're just chatting. I enjoy talking to you so much. So
I can answer just only so many questions with, can't talk about that.
Exactly.
Sure. Next subject. So maybe we could do just a full Q&A and be able, since we know how to do this now, we can get on with other people and say, look, ask away.
Exactly. So if you guys are interested, definitely let us know. We'll be brainstorming and pulling up another interview in another couple weeks, and we'll keep you all posted on that. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, and everybody have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks for watching, Linda. She's so sweet. I love this lady.
Thank you, Tom, and I think Alton was still on there. So Let's live with a passion. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, that's my tagline. Go live with passion, because there's no other way to live. No other way to live.
No, there is absolutely. And let's pay it forward. That's my motto. So
yep. All right. Raya, Tom, thank you guys so much. All right. You have a great one. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. And make sure, if you haven't yet, donate to the page. It's in the comments. Drop the link. Let's see that number jump up. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.